Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Dr. Arnold Nerenberg, a clinical psychologist licensed to practice in the state of California since 1974. Been in the profession of psychology for over 50 years. And as of this Friday, 3 days from now, I'll have walked upon this earth for 84 years. And what a pleasure it's been. What an interesting journey, suffering and joys, and ultimately a lot of meaning. And all of that allowed me to gain experience, gather some wisdom together so I could present it to you. And that's truly a pleasure for me, an enjoyment and a fulfillment to me to be able to give you this knowledge and inspiration. The title of today's presentation is Anti-Aging Thoughts. Anti-Aging Thoughts. Longevity Hacks. Now, the human body, if we don't destroy ourselves, is geared for 120 years. 120 years. Do you want to live 120 years? Healthy years? We're not only looking at chronological years, lifespan, but we're looking at health span. So we're talking about it's possible to live a long health span. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be sharing with you the thoughts and attitudes that promote longevity. I'm going to talk about some of the physical aspects as well. But what's not talked about in the literature and the research are the mental attitudes. I've done some research, and plus my lifetime of experience. I'm going to help you with this. Now, the average age of you, or you're not, most of you are not even close to my age, but you have somebody in your family, a mother, father, grandmother, grandfather, an aunt, and uncle, who's dealing with their mortality, and they'll be able to use this knowledge. And this knowledge is going to help you. It's going to help you live a healthy life, a long life, and a more meaningful life. And it's all connected. And that's what I want to bring to you. This is doable. They say, given what we know about longevity today, that the child is born who will live to 150 years. 150 years. We're certainly aging in different ways than our parents and grandparents, and we know so much more. The whole field of longevity and anti-aging is enormous. It's just expanding at an enormous rate. Enormous. Now, I'm going to be telling you things from a psychological point of view, but also physiological point of view. Now, when I talk about the physical and physiological, I have to say I'm not an MD. I'm a psychologist. I've self-studied this. I apply it to my life, and I bring it to my loved ones and to my people, you. So legally, I have to say, talk to your doctor about these things. Well, I remember a good friend of mine say he trusts me more because of how I am than his own doctor that looks really out of shape. Now, the aging, you would think rationally that people want to live a long time. If you say to somebody, do you want to die young or do you want to live a long, healthy life? Well, people will tell you, if they're normal people, say, I want to live a long, healthy life. That's what they'll say. Do you want to die early? No, I don't want to die early. Oh, no. Nobody you know of will say, yeah, I want to die early. Look at their behaviors, not what they say. If you go to the supermarket, and I've observed this so many times, look what people put in their shopping carts. Beer, tequila, Twinkies, milk, cold cuts. All of it's death food. Death food. If you go into a restaurant, there are people ordering mashed potatoes, pancakes, drowning in syrup, desserts, steak with it, potato, all the things that will just make them fatter, bigger. Obesity is rampant. One of the main enemies of longevity is obesity. because it's tied to early death from heart attacks, strokes, cancer, diabetes, and the diabetes predisposes death at an earlier age, including amputations and blindness. I'll give you an example. This is a really good example. I was at a restaurant with my wife. And the next table, this gentleman was sitting there. We got to talking. And he was sitting there with his kids. It was an outdoor cafe. And I got to talk to him, and he said he had diabetes. So, okay. Well. And he was taking metformin. He was getting insulin shots. So I'm sitting there for a little while. The waitress comes out with the food. It was a big stack of pancakes, white flour, big stack. And pancakes, white flour, there's no difference between a fistful of sugar and a fistful of white powder that way, white flour. It just turns into glucose. I'm looking at it. I go, wow, it's diabetes. And then he takes the maple syrup and he drowns it in maple syrup, just sugar. So he's having high glycemic carb pancakes with pure sugar. I'm sure it tasted good. I looked at him. I said, hey, bro, I don't want to put my nose in your business, but you just tell me you had diabetes? He says, yeah. He says, but I just can't resist it. And he ate those pancakes and naturally enjoyed it. I'm sure it was delicious. He just devoured a big stack of those pancakes soaked in maple syrup. And then when he got up to leave at the end of the meal, he had a bunch of his sons with him. Son came over to me, hugged me, said, thanks for trying to help my dad. I cite to you that example because if you talk to many people who are smoking, you know it's killing them, eating all the wrong foods, and we're going to talk afterwards about all the wrong thinking. And what they'll say is, well, we all have to die sometime. I want to enjoy my life. Makes sense, right? We all have to die sometime. We want to enjoy our lives, right? Doesn't that make sense? Sure it does. We all want to enjoy our lives. And we're all going to die. So it's two true statements. But look at the ramifications. Look at this honestly. Be fair in your judgment. If you drop dead suddenly, that's a great blessing for you. Boom, you're gone. Lucky ones. The lucky ones. But most likely, you have a heart attack that doesn't kill you or a stroke that paralyzes you, or those sugars that you're having raising your glucose level that causes the cancers. And it's a slow death. It's a painful death. I know people have had their feet amputated, their legs amputated. They got blind from it, from sugar. And slowly they were dying. Painful. They didn't go boom like that. They weren't lucky. Painful deaths. Sure, we all have to die, but do we have to die like that? That's it. Now, let's look at something else. When we eat those kind of foods, what are we saying? We're saying, I'm going to enjoy myself. If I have a heart attack or a stroke, I've enjoyed myself. But don't you care about your loved ones? You're going to become a burden to your wife, to your children, to your grandchildren. You're going to become a burden to the hospital system. You're going to be taking up another bed like so many people. And you're raising all of our insurance premiums because you did this to yourself. It's reckless. People say, well, it's my life. Well, no, it's not. Your life also belongs to your loved ones. And you're bringing an oppression and a burden to society and to your family. That's what's going on. Our lifespan, the last few years in America is actually going down a bit. Around about 78, 79. In Israel, it's 83. Japan's even higher. I'm just pointing out the reality of the problem. I want to enjoy my life. We all have to die sometime. And that's what people say. Even when they're smoking cigarettes. Oh, I love it. I love it. And I'm addicted. Okay. He dropped dead. My father died suddenly. Boom, he was gone. He ate a lot of bad stuff and he went boom, just like that. He was lucky. My mother smoked. It was a 7-year death process. 7 years. Her kidneys went. She was on dialysis. Triggered a stroke. Didn't do any good to say, Mom, why are you smoking? I said, Dad, why are you eating this? You know it's going to kill you. Well, my dad at least had the awareness to say, son, I guess it's an unconscious death wish. So, do you want to live? Do you want that longevity? Do you want the health span? Is it a priority? Or you just want to have some fun and enjoyment for a while and then burden everyone around you with being crippled up? That's really what it comes down to. Really be honest. Think about it. We're making ourselves burden to our families and society. Isn't that true? Honor demands that we take care of ourselves, our bodies, so we don't become a burden to our families and society, and so that we can continue offering to society and to our families. Honor demands that. And I'm going to talk to you about honor in a while. I'm going to give you the ways to offset this. I'm going to tell you ways that you're going to love and you want to apply it to your lives. This could be a life changer for you. And I know every one of you knows somebody who's killing himself. You know somebody who's killing herself. You do, every one of you. And you might be one of them. You might be one of the people killing yourself. Now, if I say, do you want to be killing yourself? Most of you go, oh, no, I don't want to be killing myself. Well, what you say doesn't matter. It's what you do. What are you doing? I'm going to show you the cures for all of this. I've got good news for you. I've got wonderful approaches for you that will help you get beyond this. My 50 years of clinical research, studies that I've done, my reading the literature on these things, and living 84 years myself. And I didn't always follow the way of life. No, I was following the way of death just like so many. 61, I had a heart attack, almost killed me. It was the LAD, the widowmaker. 90% occlusion. Got to the hospital in time, they got a stent in there. It's good to go. And because I was drinking a lot of milk and dairy products because I wanted to get big and strong, because there are a lot of good proteins in that milk, good for your bones and your muscles. But the casein protein causes prostate cancer, causes breast cancer. You don't want to be having that. 65 years old, diagnosed with prostate cancer. I had the two big ones, heart attack, cancer. When the doctor said, they did a biopsy. I came in and the doctor said, Dr. Nerenberg, you tested positive, you have prostate cancer, and it's not a small amount, it's an intermediate amount, and it's somewhat aggressive, at least of 7. My face went numb. About 20 seconds. And then I said, Doc, that's great. He looked at me and said, what? I said, yeah, that's great. That shocked the man. He looked shocked. He says, what do you mean? I said, well, this prostate cancer is going to make me stronger, spiritually, emotionally, and physically. He looked at me like he was hoping I was right. Well, I was already prepared because I already know how to work with my thinking. Grateful for the power I gained from hardship. It's one of the commands of honor. I'm grateful for the power I gained from hardship. Well, little did I know it would hit me so fast. I walked outside. Spiritually and emotionally, I'd already gained. I saw the sky, the trees, the birds. It was beautiful. I had never seen it before. Like waking up. So the people walking by, they all looked like family members. I just felt so much love for everyone. I knew they looked at me as a stranger, so I wasn't going to run up and hug them and talk to them, but I felt like it. Something lifted and never came back down again. Ever since that time, I've looked at people differently. That veil didn't come totally back over me. So there was the gain right then. Made me stronger spiritually and emotionally. People were shocked. How come you're so calm? I said, well, one of my commands of honor is, God, your wish is my only wish. So how does that help you? Well, what I said to God was, God, if you want me to pass away from cancer at this time, then I want to go to the other side. Lord, I want that. If that's your wish, that's mine. I really did want it. I said, but God, if you want me to serve you here on earth, then I'd like to stay on earth and serve you here. God, your wish is my only wish. But Lord, if you have no preference, I prefer to stay alive and serve you here. Well, I had that prostatectomy, got my prostate out. It hadn't metastasized. I've been fine. 18 years later, I've been fine. So God had a purpose for me to stay. And I could see what it is. It's really to bring the way of honor to the people. Honor to the people. That's the motto of the honor movement. Honor to the people. And I'm going to talk about that because that's part of the longevity hacks. It's part of the longevity hacks. I'm going to prove it to you. Now, let me also mention, so when I had that prostate cancer at age 65, I'm 84 now, I took the title strongest drug-free man in the world for my age and weight. Did a number of amazing lifts. At 65, I bench pressed 365 pounds, drug-free, no wraps, no scraps. As C.T. Fletcher used to say, Nerenberg style. And a few years later, 5 years later, I set a world record on the power pull-up with 140 pounds hanging from a chain belt. And I did a pull-up with that. Power pull-up, world record. Then at 70, I competed in bodybuilding and became a world champion bodybuilder. So it made me stronger in so many ways. Physically, emotionally, spiritually. I'm going to show you how that's done. All part of longevity hacks. So I wasn't worrying, which then reduces your lifespan. The worry will start affecting your liver. It'll start affecting your organs. Start affecting your sleep. I slept like a baby because I was ready to go. To this day, I still say this every morning. I enthusiastically embrace my life, and I enthusiastically embrace my death as a portal to pure light, love, and bliss. So even though I do all I can to stay alive and stay healthy, I also embrace my death and look forward to it. So that takes away a lot of the threat value so that it doesn't interfere with my sleep. When I had that, I was sleeping, I was eating fine, I wasn't stressing out. So this is part of, by not destroying myself further, I was able to have a very good prognosis. As a matter of fact, your attitude, we know for a fact, that's the extent you feel hopeful, you have a positive outlook, your prognosis is enhanced for any kind of surgical procedure or any kind of illness that you have or disease. The prognosis is enhanced. So, 18 years later, I'm here, cancer-free. The measure is PSA. I get it's always less than 0.1. It hasn't returned 18 years later. So that's a good sign. Now, along the physical levels, some of the ways to help prevent getting prostate cancer and to help prevent getting breast cancer for you ladies. Give up the dairy, no milk, no cheese. Drink pomegranate juice every day. Broccoli every day, which is a cruciferous vegetable that really helps fight cancer. Cooked tomatoes. Cooked is better than even raw because cooked brings out the lycopene, which is very powerful medicinal powers in it. And you want to have some Brazil nuts to get the selenium. These are some ways to help prevent that. So if you even got the cancer, it'll help shrink the size of the tumor and slow down how rapidly it metastasizes. These are facts. So what you want to be doing. And if you have breast cancer, there's an herb called graviola, in addition to whatever allopathic cures you're taking, whether it's chemo, radiation, or mastectomies, whatever. You could talk to your doctor about adding that. Graviola, the herb. So these are, I'm just giving you, starting with some of the physical hacks. I'm going to go into the thoughts, right? Giving you a little insight into that. But along these lines, just to review a little bit of what's known in terms of the physical hacks. Calorie restriction. If you reduce your calories, like intermittent fasting, where you don't eat for 16 hours a day, you maybe skip breakfast or you have it late. Say you eat at 8 o'clock, then you eat again till 1 o'clock the next afternoon. That calorie restriction is known to activate longevity pathways. There are a number of longevity pathways, one being the sirtuins. It'll activate the sirtuin pathway and longer life, whether it's humans, yeast, mice, it increases lifespan. Calorie restrictions, for abbreviation, it's CR. Then you have what are called CR mimetics. CR mimetics, which means you get the effect of calorie restriction, but you can eat. Resveratrol is one. Quercetin, whey protein, biophysitin, grapeseed extract. Now, when you take the resveratrol, you can get it from grapes, or you get a really concentration in the pill. You take it with some kind of fish oil to help you absorb it. Because it's not just what you take, it's what you bring with it so you can absorb it. Now, also, in terms of preventing all kinds of illnesses, probiotics, whether it's kefir, yogurt, fermented foods like sauerkraut, kimchi, fermented foods. This will enhance your immune system. Now, another one, so you have the sirtuins, and then you have what's called the AMP-K. Now, there are a number of natural herbs that will increase that longevity pathways, but one is also the drug metformin. Metformin was originally used for diabetes to help increase insulin sensitivity, that is, reduce insulin resistance. Well, it turns out metformin prevents different cancers and activates longevity pathways, the AMP-K, AMPK. Powerful. So there are now people, including Dr. Sinclair at Harvard, who takes the metformin, including myself, as a longevity drug, in addition to controlling insulin resistance. So that's another. So these are some ways of activating these longevity pathways. Hormesis, when you stress the body out, like you're in a hot shower and you go into the freezing cold, that stress on the body increases longevity. So hunger, rapid changes in temperature, or that hormesis stress the body, and the body goes in overdrive and activates the longevity pathways to stay alive. It's like, I'm under threat. Let's get all the good things going on. Same with plants. If you expose plants to various stressors, like don't water it too much, let it starve for a while, then give it the water, you stress it, it gets stronger, it builds up its own defense. So when you eat then that plant that's been stressed, you're getting the hormesis effect, so it has even a greater effect on your body. Certainly in terms of longevity, you want to make sure you have a foundation of beans, greens, and berries. You want to stay off processed foods. You want to stay off processed meats. If you have to have meat, you want to get grass-fed, organic. So this is, again, I'm talking at the physical level. Let me also, given we're talking at the physical level, let me tell you one of your longevity organs. You ready for this? Your muscles. Muscles. It's a longevity organ. Not only gives you strength or looks good on men, the muscles. It's a longevity drug. It gives out myokines that help fight inflammation. One of the factors that is the source of all disease start with inflammation. So you want to take anti-inflammatory substances like curcumin, garlic, ginger, fish oil, all anti-inflammatory. So you want to be able to, and then so the muscles, you want to build up your myofibrils, those are the muscle fibers themselves. You want to be doing heavy weights, like 3 to 5 reps, 4 sets. So you want to do compound movements like bench press, deadlifts, military press, bent over rows, squats. That will help build up your myofibrils, the muscle fibers. Now, if you want to build up the sarcoplasm, the energy fluid around your muscles, you do like 15 to 20 reps saying curls, and that builds up the sarcoplasm, which is the energy fluid around the muscle. It's called a pump. And that has your glycogen stores. It has mitochondria in it. It has water. But that only lasts, if you stop working out, that might last a couple of weeks. The myofibrils, the made of actin and myosin, well, that'll last for years and years. So I was a power lifter, so I have really thick myofibrils. So then when I went to bodybuilding, I just pumped up, built up some of the sarcoplasm around it. But I already had the foundation of really good muscle fibers. And so that's the key to developing muscle. Now, most important muscle groups associated with longevity, most important one, it's not a show muscle. Leg strength. Because as you get older, 75, 85, 95, the elderly, our honored elders, as we call them in the honor movement, are more prone to falling. And that's the beginning of the end. They break a hip, they break a shoulder, and that's typically the beginning of the end. So with strong legs, you have better balance and less likely to fall. And therefore, one of the things that tends to get us killed off, we've got that corrected. The next group of muscle that's most associated with long life is grip strength. Stronger your grip, you'll be able to grab onto things, handle things. That's the second muscle group. And the way to develop your grip strength, some people have these squeezers, that's good. But even better is to do a hang from a bar. I did a power hang of 310 pounds when I was 70, hang from a chain belt. You got to go for 4 seconds to do a power hang. I did it with 310 pounds on me. So my grip strength was a world record when I was 70 of 261 pounds per square inch. For my age, that was a record. But you develop by hanging. And then if you put weights on you, that even goes more. So now I've talked to you about the issues. I've talked to you about the physical part. What I want to bring that's very unique is the mental thoughts, the attitudes. They're going to help you and your loved ones. So you want to make sure you have notes that you're taking on these thoughts that I'm going to give you. The first one is you have to decide, do you want to have a long, healthy life? Not just a long life, long, healthy life. Once you say yes, and that's an intention, that's the beginning. That's the beginning. And you have to realize that we can live to 120, and now they're even saying 150, people that are born now. So the longer you live, the longer the possibility of living longer. Why is that? Because the research keeps coming in. Organ replacements, they're growing organs in a lab, stem cell work, all the supplements and foods that will enhance longevity. The knowledge expanding at exponential rate. So the longer you live, the more we know. And if you follow the knowledge, you'll have a long, healthy life. Long, healthy life. Now, a key factor is a sense of purpose in life. A sense of purpose. Now, all the people that come to see us, whether it's me, Bert, Amber, right from the beginning, every session we ask this question: what is the purpose of your life? A lot of times people say, gee, I never thought of that. I don't know. A lot of times people say, my children, my family. Those are common ones. My children and family. Some people say happiness. And they're all good answers, but that's not the full answer. I'll tell you what the full answer is. And once I tell the people, they agree. So if somebody says family, I'll say, Would you say it's family and honor? Oh, yeah. Because the whole program we have is giving thoughts of honor and following the way of honor. Because my goal for all my people that come to see us, I say, I'm not interested in your life now. But I want to talk to you when you're 95 years old. I want you to be able to say this to me, whether I'm here on earth or the hereafter. Dr. Nerenberg, I'm 95 years old, and I've lived an honorable life, and I have no regrets. That's what I want you to be able to say to me. I've lived an honorable life, I'm 95, and I have no regrets. That's the life, and it's possible to do it. I'm going to show you how. I'm going to show you step by step, and it's not complicated. It's easy, it's simple. Watch. Listen, take notes. I'm going to help you enormously. It took me 50 years to put this together. 50 years. I did a study, still ongoing, with 190 patients. Keep in mind, all these people will tell you their life involves living with honor. They might say honor health and happiness, honor family and happiness, honor success and happiness. But honor is a part of everybody's purpose in life that we see. Thousands of people, beautiful human beings. And I'm defining honor as loyalty to your highest constructive values as enshrined in the 4 commands of honor while striving to cause no harm physically and emotionally. That's how I'm defining it. So what we said to the people, 196 of our patients, does your purpose in life involve living with honor? 98% of the people said yes. Of course, we asked them every session. It'd be surprising if it wasn't the case, but it's not 100%. 98% said yes. I'll tell you why that's so. That's one of the valuable hacks to longevity. The desire to live an honorable life. I'll show you. Now, here's the next one. Does your purpose of living with honor increase your desire to live a long life? Does it increase your desire to live a long life? The desire to live a long life is part of this journey. That's an important hack. It's an important longevity hack. 96% said yes, it does. So because they've entered into the program, because they're following the way of honor, because that became important and even a priority, now they're saying they want a long life. If you go to people on the street, you say, does that increase? Do you have your desire to live a long life? Yeah, people say, I don't know, maybe. They'll qualify it with all kinds of, but 96% of our people. Now, does your purpose of living with honor increase your desire to live a healthy life? A healthy life. Now, not everybody wants to live a healthy life. If they're outside the program, they want a comfortable life. They want an enjoyable life. They want to have fun. But now, because they're part of their purpose in life is to live with honor, they want to live a healthy life. What percentage? 96% of the people. Yes. Because I want to live an honorable life, I want to live a healthy life. So now we see the hack, the biohack. They're buying into longevity. Our people are buying into health, which of course is correlated with longevity. Now, get this. Does your purpose of living with honor increase your desire to live a more meaningful and productive life? Meaning and productivity. Does it increase that desire? That fire for that? 97% of the people said yes. 97% of the people said yes. So by wanting to live with honor, the motivation goes up. People want a long life, a healthy life, a life filled with meaning and productivity. Now you've got the engine going. That's the foundation. That's the basic hack. The longevity hack right there. I recommend that you put that as part of your life purpose. Tell yourself, I want to live an honorable life. When I'm 95, I want to be able to say I've lived 95 years on this planet. I've lived honorably, and I have no regrets. That's what I want for you. And that's going to increase your health and your longevity. And keep in mind, your health and longevity will allow you to love your family more, give more to your family, to be there for your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, as well as giving to society, to the advancement of civilization. You can do that because the longer you live, then you start catching on. Look, I'm a pretty smart guy, but I didn't really catch on a deep level to therapy, to be doing the therapy process until I was about 70. 70 years old, so I started catching on deeply. I tell people I'm 84 now, and I finally know what I'm doing. So if I hadn't lived to this point, and I almost didn't, I wouldn't be able to bring you all the knowledge and inspirations that I'm bringing to you. I wouldn't be able to do it. God had a purpose for my life, because that's why I stayed here. So, of course, part of longevity is our own efforts, our genetics, but the grace of God. So, have honor as part of your recognized part of your motivation to live. That becomes the purpose in your life. Now, the purpose in your life is one thing. Your goals is another. You can say, my goal is to have a house before I'm 35. My goal is to retire at 45. Those are goals. That's not purpose. Those are goals. Living an honorable life is a purpose. People say, well, I just want to be happy. Well, okay. No such thing as true happiness without honor. Without honor, you could have fun, excitement, entertainment, but you can't have true happiness. Honor is the foundation of true happiness. Some people say, I just want to be a success. That's my purpose. I say, oh, no. If you became a multi-billionaire, you had the most beautiful home, cars, yachts, but if you don't have honor, why, you're a loser. You're a failure. Only honor makes you a success. Then, of course, you want to make money, be healthy, and all the rest, have a nice home. But only honor makes you a success. So, if you want success, you have to say, my purpose in life is to live with honor and be a success. If you don't put honor in the equation, you can't be a success. If you make your money selling whiskey and cigarettes and you make billions, there's no honor in that. If you're some kind of murderer, you get paid for killing people, and you're rich and you own these yachts and houses, there's no honor in that. The person's a failure. To society, the person looks, oh, look how well he dresses, look at a beautiful wife he has, look at that car, look at that yacht, look at that house, look at that airplane. The guy's a loser. Doesn't matter whether you know it or not, the guy's a loser. How do you make his money? If it's an honorable livelihood, then he's a success. So I tell self-esteem. A lot of people, it's based on their looks and their money. Well, you want to look good and you want to make money. I'm not diminishing that at all. Look good. Women look beautiful. Guys look handsome. That's great. And make a lot of money. But that comes and goes. You get sick, you get an accident, the beauty's gone. You go through a pandemic, the business goes out of business. I've seen a lot of people lose a lot of money. My self-respect and self-esteem depend only on my honor. My self-respect and self-esteem depend only on my honor. You want to be repeating that 3 times a day. That's one of the hacks. You write that down. That's one of the hacks for a longevity hack. My self-respect and self-esteem depend only on my honor. That is, my purpose of life involves living with honor. My purpose in life involves living with honor. Or you could say honor is my highest priority. Different thoughts. Those are some of the thoughts that are hacks in. Now, how did these thoughts work? I'm going to tell you more thoughts. How do they work? Well, you have genetic expression. We all know the genes are very important for our health and longevity. But it's not so much your genes. It's whether the genes are turned on or off, expressed or suppressed. expressed or suppressed. Now, if you have, say, the P53 gene expressed, that fights cancer. If it's shut off, then the cancer-fighting gene is not operating and you're more prone to cancer. So what turns it on and off? Well, the genes are very susceptible to the messages from the epigenes. The membranes of all the cells have epigenes. And the epigenes are very affected by communication through substances and foods, but any kind of communications are thoughts. So certain thoughts will activate it to turn on the right genes and suppress damaging genes. So I'm going to give you the thoughts. In a few minutes, I'm going to give you the thoughts to help suppress your destructive genes and to turn on the life-giving genes. These are the thoughts I'm going to give you. It took me 50 years to develop the most powerful thoughts in the universe to turn on your positive genetic expression and to suppress your destructive expression through the mechanism of the epigenes. I'm going to show you how to do that. First, I want to be clear on what I've said. I'm going to review a little bit with you. We found conclusively that the purpose of living with honor will increase your desire for a healthy life, a long life, a meaningful and productive life. That's the first thing. That's why you want to go, my purpose in life involves living with honor. All of our people have that purpose, with very few exceptions. Living with honor. And you want to be committed to a life of no regrets. I'm not saying living with honor is always easy, but it's a path of no regrets. It's a path of no guilt, no shame. You lived honorably, things didn't work out well so be it. I made the honorable choice. So I'm going to now give you what I call the bridge. I'm going to write this down because this is going to keep you alive longer. Ready? Label it the bridge. What is the most honorable thing to think, say, and do? What is the most honorable thing to think, say, and do? Now, this is a lifestyle change. So the longevity hack is that bridge. I'm going to give you a little more support into that in a moment. I'm going to tell you more about it. So now, look what happened. It's a paradigm shift. We're no longer looking for happiness. We don't say, what would make me happy here? No, I don't ask that anymore. What's the most honorable thing to think, say, and do? Well, of course, that's the best way to go. Why? Because you can't have happiness anyhow without honor, not true happiness. So it's a paradigm shift. You're looking for honor, and as you achieve that, and it's very achievable, then all things will be rendered unto you, including happiness. We found as people were in our honor therapy program, and not only brought them happiness, it brought them more wisdom, more resiliency. For those who were out of work on disability, it made them more workplace ready, increased their self-respect, the love in their life, enhanced their relationships. For those who believe in God, brought them closer to God. Their self-awareness went up, and to deal with anxiety, depression, and panic attacks were all enhanced, including dealing with pain through following the way of honor. Woo. We're looking for honor, and you want to be repeating the bridge, what's the most honorable thing to think, say, and do 3 times a day. And to really be effective, you have to do it all your life. What is the most honorable thing to think, say, and do? So it's not what makes me happy. You're not asking what's the best thing to do. You're asking what is the most honorable thing to think, say, and do. Now, just so you know, you have control over one category of thoughts. Some thoughts just pop into your mind, but don't define who you are. It's based on genetics, family upbringing, societal norms. You can't help getting those thoughts. And they're very often aggressive or sexual or fearful thoughts. Don't worry about it. You're not responsible for it. You didn't choose it. You need to know this. This, I'm giving you now another hack, another longevity hack. Thoughts that pop in your mind don't define who you are. You didn't choose it. You're not responsible for it. Don't worry about it. Let it be. Don't fight it. Balance it. Here's a hack. Balance it with a constructive, honorable thought. So let's say you're angry at somebody. You go, oh, I just want to slap this person. He's always insulting me, putting me down in front of others. You're walking around like that. Then you want to balance it with, yeah, but I wish you well. I wish you well. Now, by wishing that person well, and by the way, one of the commands of honor, it's another hack, I wish you well. It doesn't make the negative thought go away. It just balances it. The whole hack, the longevity hack here, the thought, puts a little bit of light into your darkness, a little bit of light. And what happens is even though the negative thought doesn't go away right away, because you're always balancing it, the negativity will come back less often, with less duration and less intensity. That's what happens over time. Now, just so you know, because one of my jobs is to normalize the human experience. It's another hack. I want you to feel normal about it. One huge study at the University of Maryland found that 80% of people's thoughts are negative. 80% of people's thoughts are negative. So it's not just you. That's human nature. 80% are negative because that's survival value. You're looking for a problem. This guy going to betray me. What about danger here? That's normal. Now, we want to stay cautious. We want to stay alert to problems. We're not naive. At the same time, I'm going to give you longevity hacks to help balance that negativity. One is, I wish you well. It's one of the commands of honor. You want to write these down. Now, here's another longevity thought, or what I'm calling a longevity hack. Ready? I take full responsibility for co-creating my reality and my problems. I take full responsibility for co-creating my reality and my problems. Write that down. I take full responsibility for co-creating my reality and my problems. Not full responsibility, co-creating. Take full responsibility. We didn't create it. We've co-created these problems. What does that do? Well, we know for a biological fact that blaming and the anger and resentment that goes with it will trigger cardiovascular events such as heart attacks and strokes, which will interfere with your longevity. So when you do something to offset that anger, now you have a longevity hack. It's a longevity hack because you'll live longer. So when you say, if you feel like I'm a victim, say, well, this guy did this to me, it's not the first time, I just want to slap him. Well, you're walking around with that. That'll disturb your liver, disturb your sleep, disturb your digestion. You're not going to live too long if you keep doing that. So, but you go, I helped co-create it. I said this to him. I responded this way. I made it worse. I take responsibility for co-creating it. I'm going to unco-create it. If it's appropriate, say, hey, bro, apologize. I added fuel to the fire. I apologize for my part of that. He may or may not apologize, but you might want to be saying that to your spouse, your significant other. Hey, sweetheart, I love you. I know I added fuel to the fire. I apologize. I'm sorry. So when you could say this, these are some of the humility laws of honor. I apologize. I was wrong. You were right. Please forgive me. I have not always lived with honor, but I will die with honor. So when you're apologizing, you ask forgiveness. Ooh, stuff leaves. So that's a hack. That's a longevity hack. Now, you ready for the next longevity hack? Write this down. Honor before pride. honor before pride. As I always say, pride is a cold bedfellow, cold lover. You can't snuggle up to that pride. So when you put honor before pride, that's the secret to humility. And humility will help you live longer. It's very hard to maintain that ego and that sense of pride. I'm never wrong. It takes a lot of energy, which then robs you of your life force. Humility allows you to flow in your life in more harmony with your surroundings, your outer surroundings, your inner surroundings. You got that flow. You want that flow. Humility is key. That flow of the chi energy, the flow of the oneness with others and with nature comes from humility. If you're walking around all puffed up in your pride, it just cuts you off. It's a veil, and it consumes so much of your life force. That's dangerous. Honor before pride is another one of the longevity hacks. So I've given you two of the commands of honor. I wish you well. I take full responsibility for co-creating my reality and my problems. Now, we know for a fact you're going to run into difficulties, health-wise, loss of loved ones, loss of property, loss of jobs, legal problems, failures, setbacks, injustices, betrayals. It's going to happen. It's already happened to you. It's going to continue to happen. These are blessings in disguise. I'm grateful for the power I gained from hardship. Here's another answer for you. I'm grateful for the power I gained from hardship. Just like when I faced my prostate cancer diagnosis, I saw it as a blessing. It's doable. It's doable. I did it. I know it's doable. And I've done other situations, and I've seen my patients do it. So I know it's doable. You'll live longer. You're going to live longer. I'm grateful for the power I gained from hardship. You're going to have those hardships. Whether you like it or not, you're going to have it. You can make it a really bad thing, or you say, you know what? This was rough, but I know it's going to make me stronger. For one thing, you can achieve more wisdom through it. Wisdom. It's impossible to develop wisdom without suffering. Impossible. So that's the ground for you to grow the seed of wisdom in the ground, in the soil of hardship and suffering. Now, once you've suffered yourself, you'll be able to have more compassion for others who suffer as you do. Say, hey, I've been through that. I know what you're going through, bro. I understand. I've been through it. That's the connection, compassion. You can help out your children, your spouse, your aunt, your uncle, a friend, a stranger. I've been able to help so many people because of my own sufferings, my own mistakes. As my father said to me, he said, son, I have a lot of good advice to give you. Not because I've been so smart, just I've been so stupid. And I tell it to people, I made so many mistakes, and those mistakes, my own stupidity, helps me deal with the mistakes you're making. And I could talk to you about it without any sense of arrogance or condemnation or judgment because I've done it. I've made those mistakes. A lot of mistakes, whoppers. I'm here to tell you about it. Then, a derivative, I call that the warrior's command of honor. I'm grateful for the power I gained from hardship. There are a couple of derivatives of that. Longevity hacks. Ready? I hope to come back much stronger than ever. I hope to come back much stronger than ever. So right in the midst of it, you have some hope. You say, I'm just not going to deal with this. I'm not going to be like I was. I'm going to be stronger than I was. And that's, by the way, the goal of the whole honor therapy. I tell that to every patient. The goal is for you to become stronger than ever. And we're totally committed to helping you come back stronger than ever. We're available to our people 24/7 by text. And when they're not a patient anymore, they can still text us, still come to these classes. I hope to come back much stronger than ever. In some of my other videos, I've talked about cases of people who end up being so grateful they saw the gain in their loss. I've told so many cases about that. Watch my other videos. You'll hear amazing, miraculous situations. Miraculous. A man who lost his wife, his children, his house, his job. He came back stronger than ever. A woman whose son was shot 9 times with this derivative, plus one other one, she came back stronger than ever. I have that in other videos. I tell those stories, the beautiful stories, true stories. A man was fired from his job after 30 years. Felt so ashamed. It was his biggest loss. He came back stronger than ever. You see that? That's the case of Jimmy. So the other derivative from the Warrior's Command of Honor is this. Write this down. What is the best true story I can tell myself about this problem? What is the best true story I can tell myself about this problem? I'm not asking you to invent a good story. I'm not asking you to deny the loss and the hardship. No. The hardship is real. The suffering is real. But if you're really honest, you'll see there's a gain. I have a lot of situations in my videos where I tell a lot of stories about people who found the gain in their failures, their loss. Even I have a number of videos on the power of failure. I have so many failures and setbacks in my life, and they all empowered me. I tell a lot of stories in so many of my videos. You'll find them repeated over and over again. I recommend them. I don't want to keep repeating all those stories. We go on a very long time with all the stories, true stories, every one of them true. So you have the 2 derivatives. What's the best true story I can tell myself about this problem? I hope to come back much stronger than ever. For those who believe in God as I do, I hope to come back much stronger than ever, God willing. And what's the best true story I can tell myself about this problem? Now, the 4th command of honor is one of 2. If you believe in God as I do, and as most of my people do, it's God, your wish is my only wish. If you don't believe in God or wish to address God, it's I seek always to serve my highest values. This is going to give you longevity. You say, well, if this is the wish of God, I'm good with it. Or, this is going on, I can't control it. I leave it in God's hands. So this trust in God, that all things work for good who love the Lord. It's biblical. Good's going to come out of it. Good's come out of all your suffering. Good's come out of all my suffering. I can't even begin to tell you. And again, all my videos have examples, concrete, real examples for myself and actual people telling their stories of the good that came out of their suffering. Many people who believe in God, in our study, we found people went through honor therapy, over 70% said they feel closer to God. That suffering brings people who believe in God closer to God or to a divine intelligence. They don't want to use the word God. Feel closer to a divine intelligence. Well, that's a tremendous gain right there. In fact, one of the hacks I'll give to you is this. For those who believe in God. Here we go. Ready? Write this down. God, I'm extremely grateful for the gift of trials and tribulations that bring me closer to you. God, I'm extremely grateful for the gift of trials and tribulations that bring me closer to you. Wow. That's power. As you follow the way of honor, you learn how to transform tribulation into triumph. Transforming tribulation into triumph. And that's a longevity hack. That's anti-aging thoughts. Anti-aging thoughts. these are the secrets. If you look in the field of longevity, they're not going to tell you about these thoughts, the anti-aging thoughts. They will tell you about the supplements and exercise, and that's good, and it's real, a lot of research. But I'm giving you the thoughts you can use, which you can use anytime, free of charge. These thoughts are free. They're available to you 24/7. 4 commands of honor, the derivatives, the bridge. There's more to that. I can give you more hacks, but I don't want to give too many today. Because I have the 25 laws of honor, the 25 demands of honor, supremacy of honor code, there's some others. But what I just gave you now was the fundamentals for a good life, for a long life, for a healthy life, for a life of no regret, for a life of meaning, productivity, for a beautiful life. It's beautiful. Now, it's been my pleasure to present to you anti-aging thoughts, longevity hacks. So now I'm going to open up to our wonderful, beautiful people that are here. And I want to point out, when you speak up, it's as meaningful to everybody, or it's more meaningful than when I speak up, because people feel less alone when they hear what you have to say. So whatever questions you want to ask, whatever comments you want to make, love to hear from you now. Hugh.
I have a brother that's 4 years younger than me that's an alcoholic, and he looks like my father.
Hugh just said he has a brother who's actually younger than him, but he's an alcoholic and he looks old enough to be Hugh's father. Yeah, wrong living, wrong thoughts, wrong living, whether it's alcohol, smoking, or wrong foods, will age you, will turn on the aging genes, will turn off your longevity genes. That's what happens. And I'm sure Hugh's not alone with this. I'm sure many of you know somebody your same age that looks far older than you because they're not living an honorable life. Living with honor will extend your lifespan. See, thank you for that, Hugh. Caesar, yes.
Dr. Nerenberg, just wanted to wish you a happy early birthday. Probably
Thank
won't
you.
speak to you before Friday.
Thank you so much, Caesar, for that.
But wanted to touch on your thoughts on either, I know you were speaking about healthy lifestyle and what we consume and less processed items. Just wanted your thoughts on I don't want to say keto because I know that's very extreme, but like less carbs. I'm Hispanic, so like tortilla chips, rice.
Let me
very
tell
heavy on it.
yeah.
I'm trying to lean away against that. So just wanted your thoughts on that.
Yeah, let me tell you, Caesar, I deal mostly with Mexican people, beautiful Mexican people. I love the Mexican culture, the Mexican people, so humble, so real, so authentic. I love it as a culture. Every culture has its drawbacks. Now, I tell my beautiful Mexican people, I say, the tortillas you had in Mexico, that's not the tortillas you're getting here. It's not. This is filled with all kinds of chemicals. That was pure. They grounded it right then. Also, the lifestyle people have in Mexico, living on the ranches, being active, walking around. It's a different lifestyle than you have here. So the thing you call a tortilla or Mexican food or Latino food, it's not what you had and where you came from. It's called the same thing, but it's not the same one. That's number one. Now, when you're having foods that are high glycemic, they raise the blood sugar, it's very dangerous. Your blood sugar goes up. It not only makes you more prone to cancer, and cardiovascular disease, heart attacks, and strokes, it causes end organ damage. You lose your vision. You can go blind. You lose your feet, your legs. You need amputations. And what I've heard from people who are in emergency rooms, the individuals who are most likely to die from COVID were people who are obese and diabetic. That predisposed a death outcome. Now, one of the things you want to do is vitamin D. You want to take at least 5,000 units a day, 6 days a week. I take about 8,000 a day. The vitamin D, they say above 30 is normal. A lot of people, although under 30, you don't even want to be normal. When it comes to blood work, you want to be optimal. Optimal in your blood work is 50 to 80. If you're less than 50, you're going to die prematurely of something. Blood sugar levels when you get it done. They say normal is a fasting glucose of under 100. But if it's 95 to 100, you're more prone to Alzheimer's. Optimal is 75 to 85 on your fasting glucose level, or the A1C, which is an average of 3 months. You want to keep it close to 5. Once you hit 5.7, you're into diabetes, getting into diabetic range. Now, if you want to lower your blood sugar level, I told you about metformin, a beautiful drug, but you can take berberine, 500 milligrams 3 times a day. It will lower your blood sugar levels. You want high glycemic carbs. You want low glycemic. For example, brown rice. You mentioned rice. Latinos have a lot of rice. Middle Easterners, my wife's Persian, loves white rice, basmati rice. Raises blood sugar level. There's no difference between a fistful of white rice and a fistful of sugar to raise the glucose the same amount. But if you have brown rice, which has more fiber in it, more health in it, you won't get the same spikes. See, when you're getting more blood sugar, it's raising your insulin level. When your insulin level stays chronically high, you have a shorter life. One thing, you're going to get fatter. You're going to get more fat around the midsection, and you may even get a fatty liver, which is dangerous. So you don't want to have high glycemic carbs, corn syrup, sugars of any kind, processed foods, flours. Certain brands like Ezekiel bread, it's sprouted grains. They have Ezekiel tortillas. You might want to look for some healthier alternatives. But the worst is white flour. That's the worst. That'll just spike up your blood sugar. And you can only maintain that for so long. Only for so long. So it's doable. Now, I'm of Jewish heritage. Proud to be a Jew. I'm a Baha'i, believe in the unity of all religions, but my culture is Jewish. So I grew up with pastrami sandwiches, pastrami and corned beef. You go to a kosher deli, it's thick. I mean, that is good. You put some mustard on it. You have one of these crunchy pickles, have a cream soda. That's heaven to me. But given health conditions I've had, I remember going to my family to Cantor's Deli in Fairfax. Well, they had that beautiful, thick corned beef pastrami. The cream sodas, my kids are having it. I ate cantaloupe. I had to give up my soul foods. A lot of the Jewish foods were not good for me. I had to give them up. I went to beans, which was not part of my heritage. That's the Mexicans have beans. I ate more beans than any Mexican. My wife makes big pots of beans, lima beans, garbanzo beans, lentil, black beans, kidney beans, a lot of herbs, spices. I love it. I eat that every day. I love it. Beans and then greens, broccoli, which I never used to eat or didn't like. I steam it, put it in a drink with pomegranate juice or carrot juice and mix it with nuts and all kinds of good things. Greens and then berries. I have raspberries, blackberries, and blueberries, one or two of them every day. So I didn't grow up with that. It's not part of my Jewish culture. No, it's just foreign. It's all foreign to me. But I love it. Oh, I can't wait to make that drink in the morning, put that Ezekiel toast, which is sprouted grains, and toast it and put on some olive oil and some marinara sauce and oregano on it and some, I'll put some garlic powder on it and put turmeric on it. Oh, man. Whew, I love it. I mean, you can see I'm pretty excited by it. It takes a while to want those foods because when I was just eating steak and potatoes and processed foods, I mean, I liked it. And it took a couple of weeks to cultivate a new taste pattern where I actually look forward to these foods. So it takes a little while where you get to really like this. In fact, I'm at a point now when I used to look at a hamburger, I say, oh, that looks so good. Got bacon on it. It looks so good. Now I look and I go, oh, yuck. I see people eat these pies. I go, I so love it. Blueberry pie, especially lemon meringue, banana cream pie. Oh, I love it. It looks like death. So after a while, takes a while, you start shifting because I'm looking to stay alive. I say this jokingly. Staying alive for many of us, including me, it's a full-time job. The good news is it became a hobby. So I hear you, and I tremendously respect your heritage. I love your heritage. Your heritage, like mine, has some death built into it. Our beautiful Mexican people here, there's a lot of diabetes going around, a lot of obesity going around. And I know you don't want to partake of that. I don't want to partake a lot of the Jewish deaths, of cardiovascular deaths, and being out of shape. It's very un-Jewish to be a world champion powerlifter and bodybuilder. I still ride motorcycles, but you go beyond your cultural heritage. I did, and I know you can. We each come from a beautiful culture that has some serious flaws in it. The beautiful Mexican people I know love barbecues. Well, that's great, and they have their beers. It's all death, especially if you barbecue the meat and it's getting blackened. That's carcinogenic. Once you barbecue it's blackened, that's carcinogenic. People are getting cancer in their colons and their rectums. And I had a good friend die of it. He was barbecuing all the time. So once you have this knowledge, then it's really a question, how much do you want to stay alive? How much do you want to live? Now, to the extent that you want to live a way of honor, and I know you do, Caesar. You've been in the program. You want to live the path of honor. Is that correct? You want to follow the way of honor?
And definitely, Doctor.
Okay, now let me tell you something.
And
Caesar, let me add something to it. Let me add something. Now, what do you want more in life? Honor or enjoying the moment tasting your food? Truthfully, we all want to enjoy that food, but what's more important to you, your honor or that food? That great Mexican food or the great Jewish food? What's more important to you, your longevity and honor or that?
What I want is the honor and the longevity, especially after hearing you share your knowledge. But it's so hard, to be honest.
I'll tell you what makes it easy. You ready for this, everybody? I'll tell you what makes it very easy. Easy. Just kill yourself long enough till you're almost dead. Then you go, oh, what have I done? Oh, my God. I've got this condition. I've got that condition. I want to change my life. God, help me. You could do it that way, where you're almost dead, close to death, like me. Then I went to the other side. Or you can be smarter than I was and start following these hacks I'm giving you now. It's up to you. Most of you, a lot of you are going to need to be dumb like me and get close to death and then fight to stay alive. One way or another, you're either going to die from the way you're living, or at some point you say, I want to stay alive. How badly do you want to stay alive? I knew a guy had a heart attack, and he was in the hospital. I went to see him, and he had the surgery, open heart surgery, and they had a smoking area. He was a big smoker. So after surgery, I was visiting him in his room, and he said, excuse me, I have to take a cigarette break. He went out, lit up a cigarette. I mean, right after he had a heart attack and he had a surgery. To him, that cigarette was more important than staying alive. Well, okay. And he survived longer than I thought he would. He lived another 6 years. But he's smoking. It's known to kill you. So it depends. I'm going to ask you a question, Caesar. Do you want to wait till you're almost dead to get motivated to do what's right for you, or do you want to make the decision now? It'll be a lot easier when you're close to dead. See, it'll be harder to do now. Do you want to wait till you're close to being dead, which is then easy to make the switch, or do you want to do it now? I'm asking you honestly.
No, definitely now, Doctor.
Well, that's what you say. Let's see a week from now, a month from now, how you're doing. If you're doing it, let me know. Text me.
Thank you, Doc.
Yeah. This applies to all of us. I'm so happy you brought that up because all of our people go through that same thing. All of it. All of us.
Doctor.
Yes.
My aunt is 85 years old, and we were sitting here tonight listening to you, and she was so inspired. She thinks you're awesome, just like I do.
Well,
Thank you.
Joanna, I always enjoy how much praise you give me. I thank you for it. I appreciate you're such a big fan. Uh, you know, she's 85, so she's been around. She's got me beat. I'm only 84. And I'm sure she knows what I'm talking about. And I'm glad that she relates to it. And what's the secret of her long life going to 85? That's, the average life in America is 78 to 79, so she's already exceeded the lifespan. What's the secret of her longevity?
Sit back and let the toe ball do the rest. Fresh, I
All right.
feel himself.
Thank you for that, Joanna. Anybody else have anything you want to ask or say?
Dr. Nerenberg, this is Reginald Jackson.
Reginald, my brother, always good to hear from you.
Yes, what's the hardest thing, when it comes to eating healthy? When it boils down for me, it comes to like taste. It doesn't really taste that good to be healthy. You know what tastes good? A big thing of my favorite banana nut ice cream loaded up with whipped cream and dripping with caramel toppings. You know what tastes good? A big stack of pancakes with syrup and that rich in butter. But I have to give that up. So what is simple for me is I'm eating for substance and not for taste. And I try to put that, ingrain that in my brain. So I know it doesn't necessarily taste good sometimes, what we eating, not having the spaghetti and all that. But I just said, well, look, I'm eating for substance and not for taste.
Let me ask you this, Reginald. Did you one day just wake up and say, hey, I'd like to live a healthy life? Or did you go through some serious health problems and that did it for you? What's the case for you?
Well, I'm 71 years old. So I'm about, I guess, 11 or 13 years your junior. But my liver was over what it was not supposed to be. My blood sugar was up like 7. And my doctor just, and I was drinking. And the doctor asked me, he says, well, I was drinking every day. And he says, could you just drink on the weekends? So I just said, well, doctor, why don't I just stop for 6 months? And what happened was after I got to 6 months, I said, I want to do 7 months. And after I got to 7 months, I got to 8 months.
All right. Jeremy, let me interrupt you, brother. Let me interrupt you. I love you. I'm so grateful for what you said. Now, Reginald represents all of us. He didn't just wake up someday and say, I want to live a long, healthy life. I'm changing what I eat. I'm going to stop drinking. No. He had to get seriously sick. That's why I say it's a lot easier once you get closer to death and I'm not going to make it unless I change. So you and I, it was easier because we were dumb. We destroyed ourselves, and you knew you were destroying yourself just like I did. And we did it anyway because it's delicious. It tastes good. It's comforting. It's so nice. So we did it the dumb way, and we're trying to encourage all the younger people to be smarter than us. Am I right?
Yep. I feel so much better, so I'm not going back. I'm good.
Well, Reginald, you're a great man, and sharing that with the people, with the younger people. Again, it's you're going to either do it the hard way, like us, which is not a good way, or the easy way, make a decision, a rational decision, how you're going to live. And you and I are examples of doing it the hard way. And for a lot of people, that's how it has to go. You will live a healthy life. You just got to get close enough to death. You say, oh, no, I don't want to do that. Or you can be smart and change it now. Thanks for that, Reginald.
Your doctor?
Yeah, Hugh.
Your body can only be as healthy as your gut health.
Yeah, but Hugh's saying your body can only be as healthy as your gut health.
Now, another thing.
Yeah, well, let me address that one first of all. I don't want to do too much at once. So your gut health is attached to everything. If you don't have the right critters living in your intestine and your colon, and there's different critters that are good for the heart, for the liver, for the gut, for the mouth, different probiotics. So you want to get these probiotics. You can get them in pill form. You can get it from kefir. You can get it from yogurt with life cultures. You can get it from fermented foods like sauerkraut or kimchi. So you get these things. I take one for the heart, special critters that like to help with the heart health. Some I take for the oral thing to keep a good bacteria in my mouth. I take it for the gut. I take some for the liver. Now, it turns out we've got trillions. We got more of these guys. They feed off of us, and we feed off of them. So you want to keep, and then if you're taking antibiotics, which we all need at times to kill off dangerous bacteria, that kills off the good, our friends, these friendly bacteria. So you want to always replenish it. Replenish it with probiotics. As soon as you finish your antibiotics, get your probiotics, get your prebiotics, which is like fiber. You take these fiber foods, soluble fiber, insoluble fiber. So that feeds them. You want to keep feeding these good guys like the bifidus and the acidophilus. So the gut health, in fact, the gut health is associated with cancer, with diabetes, Alzheimer's. It's all connected to the gut. And that's what the findings are. And
well, the other thing I was going to mention, there are so many things that people don't realize destroy their gut health, like artificial sweeteners, like preservatives, like maltodextrin.
Well, what he was saying, like there are alcohol, preservatives, so many aspects that can destroy the gut health. So you want to be aware. That's why you don't want these synthetic foods, these processed foods. You want to just whatever God gave us, whatever's growing on the vine or in the earth. Or you want to be certainly getting that in there. You might eat some of the other foods, but make sure you get your beans, greens, and berries every day. That's the foundation.
Diet soda.
Diet soda is another. The saccharides, the different artificial sweeteners that'll kill it also. So you want to feed them. You want to feed them, not kill them. Your good probiotics that live with you, like the bifidus and acidophilus and others. Some of these critters all have their names, different varieties of them. You need them. They need us to live, but we need them. And he was always sending me these articles about new breakthroughs that the probiotics and gut health connected with this, healthy that, you name it. There's a study showing that the probiotics is going to help. Autoimmune disease, if that's not there, all of it. Thank you, Hugh. Always good points. Thank you. Who else has something you'd like to ask or say?
Dr. Nerenberg, Diego here.
Diego, you're the man. I'm always happy to hear from you.
Likewise. By the way, looking good in that shirt. I agree.
That's why I'm wearing it. Thank you.
Doctor, so thank you for everything that you've shared today. It really resonates with me, particularly with items that you talked about, just taking care of your health. But one of the things that I also wanted to mention to the group, I'm 40 years old, by the way, so I'm barely scratching the surface of my life here. But certainly one of the things that keeps me motivated and at least the key of longevity for me personally has been to just really keep curious in life, just explore my curiosity. And I mean, travel, it's one of the things that definitely keeps me young and that keeps me invigorated in life, traveling, exploring new places, learning a new skill. I picked up photography a few years ago, and that certainly has
those things you're doing, Diego, help to prevent Alzheimer's as well. Yeah, that kind of involvement. Having a strong sense of purpose, curiosity is a great keeping you connected to wanting to live. But we found that wanting to live with honor is an extremely powerful one. But certainly curiosity and wanting the adventure of life, that's beautiful. And you look at it, I mean, you're well built, you carry yourself well. So it's working. I mean, you're doing a lot of good things. I could see that.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Doctor. Yeah. And just really tapping into my inner child as well. I think all those things that I just mentioned makes me tap into my inner child, and that just kind of keeps me invigorated, and it just makes life exciting, in my opinion.
Well, if you staying invigorated, you're keeping that spontaneity, that flow, that connection. That's doable. But if you're walking around with resentments and angers, all that interferes with, then some kind of a cloud comes over the eyes. So to live with that spontaneity, you have to have a way to keep dissolving all the stressors that come on us. And by giving you these longevity hacks, it's a way to release all that. So then that love, that spontaneity, that flow in harmony with nature and with your own nature, the inner nature and the outer nature, that can happen. But you need these other longevity hacks that facilitate that. Excellent. Thanks.
Love it, doctor. Love it, doctor. Thanks for
Thanks
everything
you,
you
Diego.
just said.
Thank you so much, Diego. Love what you brought. Well, it's my privilege, my enjoyment, my pleasure to present to you Anti-Aging Thoughts, Longevity Hacks. Thank you for spending this time together. I'm grateful. It's great to see everybody.
Dr. Nerenberg, before we end this session, some of us wanted to do something special for you. For
Oh,
your
okay.
birthday.
Thank you.
All right, everybody ready? 1, 2, 3.
Ready.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday, dear Dr. Nerenberg. Happy birthday to you.
That's a first. That's a first for me. Thank you. I'll always treasure that. Wow. Thank you.
We just wanted to sing you a happy birthday.
Thank you so much. I'm great.
I could do it in Spanish too if you want.
Yeah, please do it in Spanish. No, I like to hear in Spanish.
Cumpleaños feliz, te deseamos a ti. Cumpleaños felices, te deseamos a ti. My family singing happy birthday to you too in Spanish.
Wow, I love it. As a matter of fact, to be honest with you, I probably enjoyed it even more in Spanish. I did. Thank you.
Yeah, and my mom and dad wanted to sing it to you in Spanish, so thank you for asking.
Well, thanks to your parents and thanks for all of you for those good wishes. Very meaningful to me. Thank you.
Gracias.
Gracias.
Good night, doctor.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you.